Welcome to the Crypto Angel channel. Let's look at AVAX. So on AVAX token on the monthly time frame, let's just kind of reset everything. Let's get rid of the drawings. Let's just relax. Let's just start fresh. So AVAX resistance at $65. A local high at $55. You have support here at $17.50. You have a massive local low down here around that $859 level. And up here you have a, well, yeah, that's a resistance up there, 150 bucks basically. So those are the levels to watch for on the monthly time frame. Now, monthly time frame as far as RSI goes, kind of struggling. I mean, it's not oversold yet, but I will say that could be a rounded bottom. That's a rounded bottoms are bullish. If we look at the weekly, you can see the weekly's not oversold yet, but it's pretty close to being oversold. And this looks like it does want to slightly continue down, but it doesn't have to. We look at the 3-day, that is extremely oversold on the 3-day time frame. So AVAX to me, you could get a little more blood to the downside because, again, the weekly and monthly do need to come down, maybe even a little more. But if we're in a bull market, some of these coins are just going to rip. This is definitely not the most beautiful falling wedge, and these kinds of falling wedges, to me, are not extremely bullish. But technically, by the books, that's a falling wedge. I would not take this long here because it looks more bearish than bullish to me. But the bench move would get you up to that resistance level at $65. You'd also have to crack, of course, that $55 resistance level. And if you zoom in more, I would also even say that $45 is probably also going to be short-term resistance on the smaller time frames, such as I may want even say 3 days a small time frame, but compared to the monthly, it's kind of a small time frame. You look at the daily. You're just, until you can break this top trend line here around this $35 level, I can't be bullish on this. AVAX to me is bearish unless you break the 21-day moving average on the daily time frame around $38. If you break $38, you could probably say that you broke out of this and you could get a move up to that resistance at 45. But to me, AVAX right now is a little bit bearish until you break 38 and then minimum have to break 35. We look at the 12-hour time frame. Lower high. Lower, well, that's not lower low yet, but that's another lower high, almost another lower low. I will say, when you've seen an asset stay at a bottom for a while, that's a good sign. It's trying to hold this $33. If you can do that, that would get you probably up and out of here. And eventually, if this price goes sideways long enough, you'd break this downsloping resistance line. So I do think AVAX is probably at a bottom around this $32 to $33 level. Not financial advice, but just, you know, usually when you make the same bottoms multiple times or your bottoms get less and less lower, that's usually a sign that we're about to reverse. So AVAX to me on the 12-hour time frame looks somewhat interesting. You see the 8-hour time frame. That is oversold, trying to get a bounce. AVAX is probably a buy on that 8-hour time frame. The 6-hour looks good. The 4-hour time frame looks a little sketchy. The 4-hour time frame looks a little bit sketchy to me right now. If we look at the 1-hour time frame, thank you for the likes on TikTok. The 1-hour time frame as well looks a little bit sketchy. But again, going back to the daily and the 3-day, this thing looks like it wants to break up to the upside. You'd have to break $45, $55, and $65 as resistance. If you can do that, you can get a move to the upside and obviously be looking for that. But I go back to the 4-hour time frame and I don't love this. Like, this could be a bear flag forming here on the 4-hour time frame. You're not overbought, but you're going towards that overbought level, or you're making some kind of bear flag, and this would take you down to new lows, and this would crack that $32, $33 level that I was talking about being support. So that is the bearish scenario. The bullish scenario is you just keep going up. The bearish scenario is you go down to a new low around $29.50 or $30 on AVAX. So you must break $35 and especially $38 to be bullish on AVAX. That's where I leave it. If you guys are new, make sure you hit the like and subscribe and hit the bell notification so you get notified every time I post my next video. If you guys want to join the trading group, link to join is in my description on YouTube. Until next time, cheers and adios, everyone. Thank you guys